if Donald Trump is the nominee, I'm reserving my tickets to get out of here if he wins. Only because he probably have me deported anyway.
The Reverend Al Charlatan. It would be nice to deport him. What peephole country would we deport him to? I don't think any country would take him. That might be the problem we have with the Reverend Al. Quite remarkable. That was in 2016. He, of course, was lying. And he didn't leave the country, which is sad. I'd like to think that if he were far, far away, maybe in Tajikistan, maybe in Uzbekistan with the Uzbeks, drinking battery fluid, it would be better for everyone. But he didn't leave, alas, just like so many of them who say they're going to leave, but they never leave. They're like house guests that you really didn't want to invite in the first place. Sleeping on the couch, moving into the guest room, eating all the food in the cabinets, never leaving. Well, happy Tuesday and welcome back once again. We've been standing by for the news out of New York City where Judge Juan Merchan was expected to announce today whether he was planning on putting President Trump in prison for many years for a non-disclosure agreement involving Stormy Daniels, an adult film actress, as we euphemistically refer to her. And now it turns out that Judge Juan Merchan, who is, Michael, is he a communist or just a George Soros guy? He's a political hack who's abusing his political power. And there are Democrats all over the country that are announcing that they will abuse their political power. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who is he's doing that teeth whitening ad campaign, isn't he? And he's planning on running for president because a lot of Democrats want to have sex with him. That's the thing about Democrats and politics is mostly some kind of a genital thing with them, and there's a lot of genital confusion on their part. But he said he's going to go after President Trump. And we've got sanctuary cities all over the country, governors and mayors who are saying they're going to attack Trump. They're going to wage war against Trump in order to make sure that our laws continue to be broken. They don't want to enforce our laws. They want to break our laws. They're Democrats. They're the left. They want open borders. They want more Venezuelan gangs. They want more fatal drug overdoses. They want more rape. They want more murder. They're the Democrat Party. And, of course, more abortions because that rounds out the, they love death more than we love life thing. They have stolen the slogan of Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda's old slogan, we love death more than you love life. The Democrat Party has now, they fall right in line with that, with the Al-Qaeda slogan. Aren't they amazing? Yeah, and they've got Democrats all over the country now, elected Democrats, who are saying, oh, yeah, we're going to fight. We're going to fight hammer and sickle. We're going to fight to the last drop of blood for more crime, for you're an illegal alien. And they're like, yeah, we're with the illegal part. Okay, I'm all for legal immigrants to the United States who are great and make America better, but never mind that. In Chicago, WBEZ in Chicago says Chicago Immigrant Rights Community. It's the immigrant rights community. That means more illegal aliens. There's no problem with immigrants who are legal and their rights. That's all fine. There's nothing going on there at all. But with the left, they're here to destroy America and not kill all the children, just, 1 million a year, plus maybe 20,000 on top of that, and then take the organs off of lots and lots more. They're really not well. They should be kept away from the kids. But the headline is Chicago's immigrant rights community building, quote, deportation defense infrastructure. That's the DDI, the deportation defense infrastructure. So in Chicago, the left is building up infrastructure, apparatus, and organization to keep illegal people in Chicago, which means more crime, more mayhem, more looting, and they're anti-American, they're un-American, they're pro-crime. That's the Democrat Party. They'd like your vote. Also, Fox News reporting Los Angeles, not Chicago, but Los Angeles officials vow to fast-track, quote, sanctuary city, end quote, law after Trump victory. And so they're going. It's illegal there to have sanctuary cities. It's like saying that you've made prostitution legal everywhere, and we're going to make prostitution legal. Except these are federal laws, and we have borders and national sovereignty and immigration laws, and some people follow the immigration laws, and they're being disrespected by the Democrats here too. Also out of Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Inquirer, Philly immigrant leaders fear Trump's deportation plan, vow to fight back. They're going to fight back in favor of what is illegal. They want more illegal and less legal. Now, at the same time, President Trump is planning on stepping up with immigration enforcement, illegal immigration enforcement on our southern border, doing what we can to secure our southern border. And now the story coming out of the border, Bill Melugin. Border Patrol, ICE morale surging. What? The Border Patrol and ICE, they've got surging morale, but the Democrats, they want to kill law enforcement with high morale. The Democrats are against that. They want to defund ICE. They want to abolish ICE. They've talked about abolishing the Border Patrol. They talked about abolishing our borders. And so it's an invisible line in the middle of, oh, man, it's like they're doing peyote and they're wandering through the desert looking for cactus to tap into to suck water out of their mental. Border Patrol ICE morale surging after Trump election win. Quote, they know they can get the bad guys now. They know they can get the bad guys now. But the Democrats, and again, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, yesterday was out there, made a video talking about how he's going to fight Trump and fight the federal government in favor of things that are illegal. He wants more illegal. Open borders, more gangs, more drug trafficking, more child sex trafficking. This is what the Democrats are fighting for. And if you're not with them, then they call you a racist, which is what the party of the Confederate States of America, they love to call people. They love to call people racists. They're quite amazing, these people. Truly awful, horrible people. And honestly, in the meantime, we're looking at President Trump's administration taking shape. An apparently wonderful woman, Susan Wiles, as the White House Chief of Staff, the first ever woman to be the White House Chief of Staff, very powerful post in Washington, D.C., and the first ever woman. And she apparently is held in very high regard and esteem even by some Democrats, if there are any honest Democrats left. They are few and far between. Looking at Congressman Mike Waltz out of Florida to become the National Security Advisor. He's the Green Beret and combat veteran, first Green Beret ever to serve in Congress. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who has put together a list of all the great things that are already happening, like the illegal alien caravan being reduced to half its size after Trump was elected, that walking through Mexico on the way to our border, talking peace in Ukraine, talking peace in Israel with Hamas. Let's put an end to war in Europe and in the Middle East. You notice that the current Secretary of State has done nothing about that. Absolutely nothing. And the current President of the United States has done nothing about that except fund the war on the Ukraine side by sending a couple of $100 billion American dollars over there. And, of course, reducing the U.S. oil output so the price of oil goes through the roof, which means Russia exporting oil, they get tens of billions more than they would otherwise, and that helps them fund the war against Ukraine. So really, Biden policies are funding both sides of the Russia-Ukraine war. Also, Joe Biden has been funding Hamas and Iran, and between Obama and Biden, hundreds of billions of dollars to Iran to fund their wars against Israel and against civilization, to fund the Houthis in Yemen and Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in the Gaza, and on and on. The Democrats like to fund both sides of every war. Amazing stuff. Former congressman and gubernatorial candidate in New York, Goober, Lee Zeldin for EPA administrator. And then you don't have the radical environmental extremists in charge at the EPA, where they'll shut down your business if there's a puddle in your parking lot that the federal government didn't approve of ahead of time. And the border czar, Tom Homan, who is no nonsense, I think it would be fair to say, talking about Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who I like very much, as the ambassador to the United Nations. We should really make the United Nations into condominiums in New York. That'd be the important thing. I think a pool on the roof and put some balconies on the side of that building and turn that. But Elise Stefanik, and I think she's in a safe district, a safe enough district. But I'm a little nervous about tampering with the number of Republicans in the House of Representatives. I think you should keep her there until all of that is resolved and you have secure control over the House of Representatives. And then she can leave the House of Representatives and go to the United Nations, not like anything's going on there of any value to anyone. There is no discussion at the United Nations about ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. They just go to lunch and spend our money and get parking tickets in New York, and then they never pay them. It's the United Nations. And there is no talk at the United Nations about ending the radical Islamic jihadi war against Israel, because the United Nations is a completely useless house of dictators. But never mind that. And we're talking about Marco Rubio, Florida Senator, obviously Republican Marco Rubio, for Secretary of State as our chief diplomat. And since we're talking about him as chief diplomat at Secretary of State, there is the news media is in a little bit of a frenzy today. They're smearing Marco Rubio, and they're going to be smearing everybody. Lee Zeldin, they're going to be smearing Governor Kristi Noem of South Dakota as Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, I like her, and we just need an honest person in there who's not a lying Sacagawea, and we'll be in better shape. But Marco Rubio, a year ago this month, when the jihadis were in full-blown murder, attack, kidnap, rape, loot, hold hostage mode in Israel against Israel because they're psychotics. But now the news media is attacking Marco Rubio, and it's just a matter of hours ago that Trump announced, I think maybe Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. And now the news media is attacking him. Al Jazeera is attacking him. Newsweek magazine is attacking him. The news media is, because this is what happens when you're a Republican. When you're a Democrat, the media gives you a tongue bath. Pol Pot has named Mao Zedong to be the Secretary of State, and all the news media, they just clap and applaud and give a tongue bath, and we would definitely date him or date her. And so the news media, Newsweek magazine, and all the others, they pulled video from a year ago this month where Marco Rubio was asked, hey, the jihadis are trying to wipe Israel off the map from the river to the sea, and they're chanting that at Columbia University, too, because they hate the Jews. And what would you call for a ceasefire? Marco Rubio is asked by a radical left-wing woman in the corridors of the Capitol, and this is what he said in November of last year.
Senator Rubio, will you call for a ceasefire?
No, I will not.
Gaza?
On the contrary.
Rubio,
are you filming it?
Wait,
I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas has stopped building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died?
Do.
You don't care about the babies that are being
killed
every day?
I think it's horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame.
Now, that's the voice we need from the State Department of the United States of America. The terrorists are bad. The people they're attacking are not the villains. And when they strike back against a genocidal death cult, I assume that woman was, ABC News or the New York Times or something. But what about the children? I don't know, send a check to Planned Parenthood and then come back and finish your question. You couldn't be more ridiculous. But I love the fact that they're spreading that video around today as in an effort to smear and discredit Marco Rubio as our chief diplomat, when in reality, that's exactly what our line should have been from day one, but hasn't been. They built that idiot pier to bring supplies to the terrorists. And you see, one of our troops died just the other day as a result of that ridiculous pier. He was severely injured, had been hospitalized, and the young man just died the other day. The Democrat Party is good for the death business. I'll give them that much. You know that the all-new third-generation Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier is finally here, and it builds on the incredible success of the previous generational model, and wonderful, we've got two of them at home. You know, the old model's thousands of five-star reviews online became a bestseller in no time at all, and this new Thunderstorm uses two different technologies that studies have shown help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria and viruses in the air. Removes dust and pet dander, smoke in the air, all kinds of nastiness in the air. Helps get rid of any odor and no filters to replace. And, you know, over and over again, so annoying. The Thunderstorm will help get rid of any stinky smell in your home, in your office, guaranteed. Talking about trash can stinky shoes and musty basement. Even left-wing protesters are no match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier. And they do it in just a few seconds, too. Right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection because you hang out with me. You can put one in your basement, your teenager's room, any place you like to breathe clean, fresh air. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com. EdenPureDeals.com. Use the discount code CHRIS3, CHRIS, and the number 3 to save $200 on 3 Eden Pure Thunderstorms. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is CHRIS3. Yeah, our news media, really, the worst people in the world. Isn't that what, what's his name used to come, that creepy guy? Yeah. I don't even want to use his name. He's such a slimeball. That's it. Oh, you can't take a 4-year sea cruise to get away from Trump. But I warn you now, the ship's going to be full of left-wing lunatics. And the Democrats have declared Ruben Gallego to be the victor in the Arizona Senate race against Kerry Lake. Remember, it's not who votes that counts, it's who counts the votes. And the count went on for about a week, and then the Democrat won, and that's when they stopped counting. All right, we're ahead now. Now we stop counting. Also, have you seen there's a new movie coming out, Wicked, and it's about witches. You know, Glenda the Good Witch and like the Wizard of Odd Witches. Well, then, and porn coming up. National Panhandler Radio with the headline, "At Taxpayer Expense, Propaganda for the Democrat Party." Every big city and small hamlet in America, it needs to be defunded by Republicans. National Panhandler Radio and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. I think the media universe has expanded to the point where our funding with $500 million a year, our funding, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and PBS and National Panhandler Radio, that time has passed. But never mind that. NPR with the headline, "A Wicked Mistake, : they love their colons. Mattel apologizes for printing a porn site on its doll packaging." I'm sorry, what? What is that? ABC fake news. Mattel apologizes for link to porn site on Wicked movie doll boxes. They've got a movie coming out, Wicked. It was a Broadway show, a Broadway production, and now they've got a movie, and Mattel has put out, I don't think they're action figures, they're just dolls of a young woman who's smiling and wearing a pink thing with big flowers on her shoulders, and it's got all kinds of stuff. The boxes included a link to an adult film site with the same name as the movie. Well, yeah, kind of. Mattel, you know, they make, what do they make? Matchbox cars and things like that. Mattel has apologized after boxes for some of its new dolls from the movie Wicked included a link to a pornographic website. The packages for the dolls were printed with a web address to an adult film site with the same name as the upcoming movie musical starring Ariana Grande. It's Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia Erivo. They got Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo because it's very ethnically rich and culturally diverse and pornographic. So customers who noticed the mistake shared images of the toy boxes on social media. Sarah Janelle, a popular YouTube creator who makes videos about Legos, told ABC News she first heard about the printing mishap on Reddit and went to Target to see for herself. They got an ad in here for Target. So I thought it was really funny initially, but I was also concerned because it went under the radar, she said, noting the dolls had already been on shelves for weeks. And here's a picture of the thing. The back of the box and the label, I got www, that's World Wide Web, as .wicked.com. Now, I haven't, Michael, are you on the wicked.com website right now? Because I think this is legitimate research for the show. So I think it's okay on the company computer in the studio. Mattel has apologized for the boxes, describing the link as a misprint. It was a misprint. Well, that's not actually what a misprint is. That's you printed what you intended to print, and it's spelled correctly. That's not a misprint. Mattel was made aware of a misprint on the packaging of the Mattel Wicked Collection dolls, primarily sold in the U.S., which intended to direct consumers to the official wickedmovie.com landing page. It's a landing page, and if you go to the other one, it's a landing page too. We deeply regret this unfortunate error and are taking immediate action to remedy this. Well, it's kind of too late because they're on shelves all over the country, and the kiddies are going to, hey, let's go to the movie site. Oh, I can click on a video here. Look, Mommy, what's this? I don't think Margaret Hamilton will be found anywhere on this wicked.com website, though. Parents are advised that the misprinted, incorrect website is not appropriate for children. You think? I'm just, consumers who already have the product are advised to discard the product packaging or obscure the link and may contact Mattel customer service for further information. Further information. What kind of questions do you think you might have after going to the other website? What exactly? Is that humanly possible? Is that... Melting! Oh, what a world! Oh, what a world. So, Mattel and the movie Wicked don't get the action figure because this lends a whole new dimension to the action figure universe, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Pretty funny stuff.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
And your little dog, too. Womp, womp, womp. Completely crazy. All right, let's tell you what. Let's go to a telephone call, Michael. And I've still got more. I've got more on the Senate race out of Arizona and the Beaver Moon. No, it's not a theme. It's the Beaver Moon. It's in the sky. It's the Earth's moon, and I've got news about Earth's moon that's coming up as well. But right now, let's go back to the telephones. Let's go to Mike calling from Gaithersburg, Maryland. Michael, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hello, Chris.
Hey,
I'm listening to you for years, and I think you do a great job. I don't think I'm saying anything. I don't think I'm saying anything new here, but it's simply amazing how the Democrats do a 180-degree turn because they know they're going to get spanked. Now they're going to have a peaceful transition, and if you put that up against the vitriol, it just goes to show that they're not to be trusted. And again, I'm not saying anything anybody shouldn't know, and it's just another blatant lie. And to repeat, it's obvious everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. But one thing I would like to also bring up in fairness, is that we gave the Republicans the mandate, and I'm old enough to remember when Republicans had more of a power position, and they didn't do anything seemingly. But yeah, Trump can say that and it was a good 4 years. We were better off 4 years ago. However, we didn't repeal Obamacare. We didn't do a lot of things that needed to be done. And, again, we gave them the mandate, and now we expect results.
Yeah.
And that's really what I want to bring to the table.
No, that's good, and that's fair, and I'm glad you said it and said it clearly. And it's absolutely true. The Republicans have let down the Republicans in Washington, elected Republicans, usually in Congress and also White Houses, have let down conservative voters again and again, Republican voters again and again, by making promises that then they say, oh, well, the Democrats were too powerful in the House and they were able to prevent this from getting through, and we just couldn't make it happen. And the list is long, and you named not repealing Obamacare. Securing our border is huge right now. There are a lot of big issues on the plate, war here, war there. But first, our border and our economy, right?
Yes. And it's great that we won. We can pop the champagne bottles and all that kind of stuff. But now, listen, seriously, we got to do what we say. We got to walk the walk, talk the talk kind of thing. And I'm old enough to remember, and I've got my eyes squarely on the Republicans.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you plan on keeping a close eye on them, and listen, we gotta hold their feet to the fire and keep them honest and keep them working on doing what is right for the United States of America, because it seems so often, doesn't it, Mike, that the people in power in Washington are just not on our side.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. The word kind of sham comes to mind a lot.
Yeah.
A lot in my 3 years on this earth. So, I hate to say it, but the trust in our government is fleeting. It really is. Unethical. People are not honest. And, that's a lot in today's world. And it's, come on, it's absolutely kind of crazy to watch our political body in action.
It is. And it's very frustrating and disappointing, and you're right, and the lack of trust that so many of us have in our government systems and institutions is entirely justified.
Yeah, and I don't want to be a downer on this Tuesday, but I mean, come on, there needs to be some accountability, and of course, in today's day and age, accountability, what is that?
That's right.
But there needs to be reinstitution of the word accountability. And there needs to be some kind of, I absolutely, it's been so many years that I absolutely cannot believe my eyes and ears of what I've seen. And I'm one of the millions that have basically turned off the TV, become apolitical, you name it. And, that's a coping mechanism. We need to be involved in our civic lives, so to speak, and vote and things of that nature. However, it's just pure garbage. It's total garbage. The internet, the media, the fake media, the fake news. It's just unbelievable. And I think maybe it's a function of maturity. But when as you grow a little bit older, you say to yourself, "My God, how can people with a straight face get on any kind of platform and say the things they do?" When I say that, I mean the Democrats. And it's just amazing. But yet again, we need to hold their feet to the fire. We need to put things in place that, come on, it's what happens when Trump's out of office. What about 8 years, 12 years down the road? I mean, who's going to carry the torch?
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Well, no, you're right. And look, the Republicans disappoint frequently and regularly as well when it comes to not making good on promises. And it is, I would say, the Democrats sin constantly, lie constantly. A lot of Republicans, I think, want to do the right thing, and they're up against the machine in Washington. But I don't want to make excuses for them. I want them to do the right thing and to succeed. And the lack of faith in our institutions have earned that lack of faith by way of their poor performance over the years, to be generous. And I understand the frustration in turning off the TV and you stop following the stuff all the time because it can get inside your head and just become too much a part of your life. And politics shouldn't be this much a part of our lives. The left has made it, and really it is the left. I've played the audio before of the former governor, presidential candidate, presidential nominee, and DNC chair, Howard Dean, who, when he was DNC chair and leaving the Democratic National Committee, proudly announced that he had changed politics in America forever by creating the Permanent Campaign. He said before he started as DNC chair, we'd stop and start with politics, but now he's made it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and it never stops.
Remember I talked about the Permanent Campaign? Well, before I got to the DNC, we didn't have a permanent campaign. You would campaign for 1 year when you had a candidate, and then if you didn't win, you wouldn't campaign for the next 3 years. No wonder we lose. Now we don't just have a permanent campaign for electing Democrats. We have a permanent campaign for influencing policy. It brings us a little closer to the European model.
He's excited to announce it brings us a little closer to the European model because they don't like the United States of America. They like any country other than the United. There would be no European countries were it not for the United States of America. They'd be living under the hobnailed boot of the Soviet Union, which would be thriving and alive and well, or the Socialist Workers' Party of Adolf Hitler. But isn't that amazing, Mike, that Howard Dean proud to inflict the permanent campaign on everything, not just for electing officials, but for the things that make them angry. All abortion, all the time, all open borders, all Venezuelan gangs, all the enemy next door. That's the permanent campaign that Howard Dean unleashed on the United States, thinking it was great because it's more European and less American. He should probably go to a gulag for the rest of his life, I'm thinking. But I'm kind of old-fashioned,
Well, no, I agree with you, and there's a lot of systemic issues in this country, and I'm not jumping on the race card and all that kind of systemic stuff. That's nonsense in my book. But I think that people need to live their lives. I think you're right that politics shouldn't be so unhealthy.
Right.
When you try to take an interest in it, and then you find that 10 years down the road you're still angry, you're an angry person. You have to realize there's a lot of psychological push buttons that are being played on us as a population, and it's just unfortunate. It really is.
It's tragic. It's very tragic, and it creates. We've got this lunatic woman on MSDNC yesterday, day before, she's a psychiatrist or something, saying you should reject your family at Thanksgiving and at Christmas if they voted for Trump. You should reject. This is the stuff of civil war. And the Democrat Party started the first civil war. I'm hopeful that they won't start a second civil war by way of their fanaticism and relentless insistence over everything. Michael, thank you. Thank you for the call. And keep on thinking. That's the most important thing. And keep on laughing, too. Because you got to be able to laugh at this stuff. And, we need to be the ones that are laughing while they're self-immolating and tearing their hair out. It's more fun that way, don't you think? I think so. Thanks, Mike. Could the fate of America's children be tied to the fate of our nation? Well, much like the abortionists of the you-know-who, they end the lives of unborn, helpless little babies. The left seems determined to snuff out everything else. But a great organization called Preborn stands as a beacon of light and a beacon of hope, the most defenseless among us, preborn babies. And every day, Preborn's network of clinics helps to rescue, on average, more than 200 unborn babies in the United States every day, while surrounding the expectant mothers with love and with God, offering free ultrasounds, witnessing the miracle of life growing inside of them. Has never been more crucial as we navigate through this time of moral depravity. Will you please help Preborn in helping to protect the least among us? For just $28, you can sponsor an ultrasound. Give a mother the chance to choose life. not only for her baby, but for herself as well. An ultrasound could double a baby's chance at living a long, happy, and prosperous life. To donate securely, all you have to do is dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. Pound 250, the keyword is baby. Or you can go online to preborn.com/plant. That's preborn.com/PLANTE. Thank you. Yes, sir. All right, I've still gotten. I've got to get to the border. You know, I'm not going to go to the border physically, but I've got the border as a topic, and I want to get to that. An amazing story of a World War II Navy ship that was sunk and just found. There is one amazing little detail that they buried in the story I've got for you, and the Beaver Moon. CNN is ridiculous, and their headline today is, "In Trump's second term, czars will reign." Czars will reign. It's because Putin, Russian collusion. Well, we got a border czar, and Kamala was the border czar, but then she wasn't, but then she was, but then she wasn't. But she never did anything, which is worthy of note, I think. Man, oh man. That's great. We don't have a ton of time, but let's go to Jim calling from Naperville, Illinois, listening on the great WLS. Jim, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris. With all these appointments made by Trump, I think you might agree that perhaps General Mike Flynn might be a great appointee for reviewing and revoking the national security clearances of all the corrupt federal employees in the deep state that have no right holding a national security clearance after the shenanigans they pulled. And
shenanigans.
The lies and the deceit.
I agree with you 100%, Jim. I think it's a great idea. I saw it on the big board. I said I got to go to Jim because you're right, have Flynn pull their clearances.